What is going on, my dummies, and welcome back to another Digimon Deck Tech. In today's episode, we're going over our very first deck for BT4 Great Legends. This is going to be a Miragegaogamon deck. It's more of a slow roll type deck. It's not extremely aggressive. You kind of rely more on your opponent than you do yourself. But yeah, I'm just going to jump into it. If you like the deck, you can copy it. I don't care. The first things first, we play 4 of the best blue Digitama in the game, Omnimon. He says, when attacking once per turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution sources, we draw 1 card. Of course, we don't have a way to manipulate our opponent having cards underneath, but this is still good to have. It makes our opponent have an awkward situation of where, do I play this or do I not? Moving forward, we have a 1-of Digimon. This ability is not going to come up a lot. It literally only comes up if we have Miragegaogamon under or above it at some point. It says, during your turn, once per turn, if this Digimon becomes active during the main phase, this Digimon gets 1000 DP until the end of turn. I guess it's not just Miragegaogamon, it's all the Gaomons because of Thomas. But this is mostly just Digiburst fodder, unless you actually need the 1000 for a later attack, but situations are situations. Moving forward, we have a 4-of Electmon. He is our vanilla rookie. We play, or not we play. He is 2 to play, normally 0 to evolve, 3000 DP. Just generic. I like Electmon's art more than I like Goemon's art, so we're playing him. Moving forward, we have a 4-of Gabumon from BT1. He's 3 to play, normally 0 to evolve, 1000 DP. We want to play him normally because he does have a when played skill. It is to draw 1 card, so he replaces himself on play. Also, he's a body that doesn't care if he swings in because we already replaced himself with playing it. He's also really good Digivolve fodder for Digiburst cards, so that is another positive to him. Moving forward, we have a 3-of Gaomon. He is 3 to play, normally 0 to evolve, 2000 DP. I'm playing a 3-of him because of his inheritable ability. Honestly, I could play a 2 and 2 of Gomamon that's next to him, or you could just play 4 if you decide that you're not seeing Gaomon enough. But Gaomon's interesting. It says, inheritable skill, your turn, when this Digimon triggers Digiburst and trashes this card, return this card to your hand. So we don't need a lot of them because we don't want to be hard playing them. We want to use them to be able to keep a Digivolution source up. Having too many of them means that they're clumping up our hand. 3 to play is rather high, so I try to keep it down to 3. But that's just me personally. And a 1-of Gomamon, he is literally a generic clone of Electmon. He is 2 to play, normally 0 to evolve, 3000 DP. No abilities, just is here. Like I said, you could play another Gaomon, or you could play 2-2. But Gaomon should be played in this deck. There's a lot of Digiburst, and you want to be able to keep adding him to your hand when you need him to be able to Digivolve onto your Digitamas. Moving forward, we have a 3-of Tobiumon. He is a level 4, 3 to play, normally 1 to evolve, 3000 DP. Now, this card is a vanilla. This is the Numemon from Black's clone for blue. One thing I want to point out that this could be Garurumon if you wanted it to. I went on memory efficiency over power. Garurumon does have, I think they have 6000 power if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, those have 6000 power over the 3000 power, but they cost the same as an effect rookie to play. So I kind of like playing these more for the efficiency. That's all, nothing more. And you'll see why whenever I get to the level 6s why I like this efficiency more than the power-wise of it. Moving forward, we play a 3-of Gaogamon. Yeah, Gaogamon, there we go. He's 5 to play, normally 2 to evolve, 5000 DP. We want to Digivolve onto him from in training into level 3, so level 2, level 3, and then to him. He has a Digiburst. We Digiburst 2 during the main phase to draw 2 cards. That means we take 2 cards out from under him as Digivolution materials and trash them to activate said ability. So we will be drawing 1 card when we Digiburst 1. Or Digiburst 2, not Digiburst 1. Ignore that. Moving forward, we have a 4-of Grizzlymon. He has blocker. He's 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 6,000 DP. On attack, -2 memory, and of course he has blockers, so he's able to protect us for a longer amount of time. Somewhere along this, I have messed up tremendously. 4, 8, 9, 10. There we go. There it is. Yeah, there it is. So pretty much, I'm gonna edit this. Not edit this, but change this real quick. This is a 4 and 4 of Digimon and Gaogamon. We're playing 4 of those and 4 Grizzlymon. I noticed that those were 3. They are 4. My fault. Moving forward, we are playing a 3 of Monzimon. He's the level 5. He's 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 6,000 DP. This could be Bassetmon from BT3. It does have 8,000 power over the 6,000 power, but it also is a 7 to play normally. And of course, like I said, this deck is built on efficiency of memory, not power. So because of that, I wanted to go with the cheaper options to hard play if I did have to hard play them. Continuing on, we do have Miragegaogamon. He is 8 to play normally, 3 to evolve, 7,000 DP. Main effect, Digiburst 2, return one of your opponent's level 4 or less Digimon to their hand, and we trash all cards up under it. Also, it says as an inheritable during our turn, if we have a tamer in play, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 power. So it makes our Miragegaogamon even bigger, and this also goes on to Omnimon, which you can probably see in the bottom corner of the screen. So we're able to get Omnimon bigger so he does not end up dying to himself to our opponent's security checks. And he's also able to attack over them. Moving forward, we have Garurumon Promo. He is 7 to play normally, 3 to evolve, 6,000 DP. When he attacks once per turn, if this Digimon's Digivolution source contains Garurumon, this Digimon becomes active. I have no intention on putting Garurumons in this deck. That ability will never trigger. It is here for the inheritable skill he has. Now, if you did not want to play this Rare Garurumon, I would recommend changing Monzimon and Miragegaogamon to 4 of each instead of 3 of, but I digress. Inheritable says during your turn, while you have 8 or more cards in your hand, security attack +1. This allows Miragegaogamon to do massive damage really quickly before our opponent has a chance to respond to it. Now, some issues with this is whatever's in security is whatever's in security. We just have to roll with it and deal with it. But I do really like the security attack +1 when we do have it. Moving forward, we get to our level 6s. First things first, we have Zed Garurumon. It is 11 to play normally, 4 to evolve, which is very expensive. 12,000 DP, which is pretty good in my opinion. It says, when Digivolving, Digiburst 2. Now, I see a lot of questions on this on the Facebook page, and I want to go ahead and bring this up. When Digivolving Digiburst, you cannot activate it multiple times. It is only once for each Digiburst that it says. So, for example, it's Digiburst 2. That means you do it one time, Digibursting 2 cards to activate said ability. That does not mean that you can keep doing it as long as you have the Digivolution sources. No. You just do it for the one time while he's Digivolving. But what it does is you return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to their hand. And we trash all cards up under it. So essentially, in a nutshell, this allows us to get rid of blockers. It allows us to stop our opponents from going into the things they want to go into by bouncing it and having them reset what they're doing. If they're playing a turbo deck, of course, that's not good. But if they're playing something like Shine Greymon and they're sitting on Rise Greymon, and you know they're going into Shine next, you can bounce the Rise Greymon back to hand. They lose all Digivolution sources, and you're still safe. Moving forward, we have the namesake card of this deck, and it is Miragegaogamon. He is 12 to play normally, 4 to evolve, 12,000 DP. Same exact stats as Zed Garurumon, believe it or not. It says, when Digivolving, gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand. Again, this relies on your opponent having card advantage. So when they have more card advantage than you in their hand, this card becomes cheaper and this card becomes more deadly to them because you don't end your turn whenever you go into it. Also, your turn, this Digimon is unblockable. Meaning they can't block that extra security attack from the Garurumon if you have 8 or more in hand. So keep that in mind. He is a very, very powerful card, but he is not the shining star of this. The shining star is actually the tamer. It's kind of like playing Shine Greymon. Shine Greymon's good, but only as good as the tamers you play with it. But moving forward, we play a 2-of Plesiomon. Now, this Plesiomon can be changed to Zed Garurumon if you so please. I just wanted to cut back on the high cost of Zed Garurumon being 4 with Plesiomon, so I have an average of 3, and Miragegaogamon normally will cost 2 to 3 to evolve, unless your opponent just drops their entire hand, and at that point, you already have a really good advantage over them. But Plesiomon is 10 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 12,000 DP, no effects, just a vanilla. This kind of helps us go into Omnimon if we need to, so on and so forth. So moving forward, we have a 2-of Omnimon. He's here because Omnimon is just the king. He's 15 to play normally, 6 to evolve on a red, but we're going to put him on a blue. 15,000 DP when digivolving. Destroy one of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's Digimon with the same name as that Digimon. Also, when he attacks, you return a level 6 from this card's Digivolution sources to your hand to make this Digimon active. So, this is really good. It allows us to put Miragegaogamon back into our hand so we can repeat this process. We can put Zed Garurumon back in our hand so we can bounce something. There's so many options for this that he's a really good card all around. We only play 2 of them. We don't rely on this as a deck as a whole. We actually rely more on Thomas than we do on Omnimon or Miragegaogamon. Without Thomas, we can't do what we need. But moving forward, 2 of Vulcan's Hammer. Now, I would say this could be the Moonlight Howl, I think is the name of the move or the option card that he uses. Let me get down here to it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all unorganized and stuff. There we go. Full Moon Blaster. There we go. Not Howl, Blaster. You could play this as a 2-of instead of Hammer Spark. I like this card a lot, believe it or not. This actually can reset your opponent a good ways back if they have good cards in their hand. Or a lot of cards that forces them to use said cards from their hand to keep the game going. Vulcan Hammer. Hammer Spark is here because if I didn't put any amount of Hammer Sparks in here, people would be upset. I don't like Hammer Spark as a card. I've said this multiple times. Cards that do not do anything but give you a memory that is not permanent sucks. And if you're relying on it for security checks, then you have 4 cards in your deck that's in the way. Now, one thing I will give Hammer Spark, and I know it says Vulcan Hammer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bad at this. The one thing I will give it in this deck that some other decks can't boast is because Miragegaogamon can reduce his cost equal to how many cards are in your opponent's hand. Hammer Spark does allow us to dump a card to still keep it our turn if we have to. Like, it allows us to play 1 extra card. And, like, yes, sometimes that doesn't matter, but literally the only exception to this rule in this deck is Miragegaogamon, in my opinion. Being able to play Miragegaogamon and not have your memory change because your opponent has a fistful of cards is really, really powerful. And before I realized that I messed up on the build and had 4 of these, I don't know why I messed it up. But if you're with me and you don't like Hammer Spark, Full Moon Blaster is a good card to play in its spot, or Coyote's Breath, or you can play a 4-of Coyote's Breath or a 4-of Full Moon Blaster or 2/2. However you see fit with these 3 cards, that is what you can play. Honestly, you want some removal, but since Miragegaogamon can't be blocked, you don't really care about the blockers to remove them out of the way. You're only worried about the big threats that your opponent is playing, but because you have bounced through Zed Garurumon and Miragegaogamon, you should have the removal needed to stop your opponent early game. But moving forward, the next card is Ice Wolf Claw, which is actually Psychosis Breath in English. It is 7 to play normally. The security effect activates the main effect. The main effect is return one of your opponent's Digimon back to their hand, discard their Digivolution sources. So basically, this card is just efficient removal. You can get rid of your opponent's level 6s, level 7s, whatever you need to be able to get rid of this, rid of their threats. And also under security check, it also gives you an extra turn sometimes, or gets rid of the threat at hand at that moment. So yeah, Ice Wolf Claw definitely a must-have. And I will say this about Full Moon Blaster. Full Moon Blaster is limited to level 5s or lowers, where Coyote's Breath is not. So both of them have their ups and downs. Of course, with Coyote's Breath, it does cost more memory, but it's a I can return anything card, where Full Moon Blaster is I've got to be a certain level or lower to do it. And in order to spin it back to the deck, you have to have so many cards. So keep that in mind. Moving forward, we have a 4 of Thomas H. Norstein. Thomas is the centerpiece of this deck. He is so powerful. He is 3 to play normally. Security effect puts him into play as of all Tamers. On play, trigger, draw 1 card from the deck. And then main phase. When your opponent has 8 or more cards, you may suspend this Tamer to unsuspend one of your Digimon with Gal in its name. Meaning, Gaogamon, Miragegaogamon, and Miragegaogamon all get untapped. On top of which, you can actually unsuspend your own Gaomon. Just your regular rookie if you had to. Of course, like I said, this is relevant to your opponent's hand size. So if your opponent has a fistful of cards, Thomas H. Norstein becomes one of the strongest cards in the game. Otherwise, you just have a Tamer that sits there. Some things that you can work around in this deck if you wanted to. Of course, Gaogamon, I don't know if you can replace that. But if you don't care much for playing this level 4 or Garurumon, you can, however, play Lobomon in their spot. He is a little bit bigger. He's more to evolve. But we can use Tamers as if they were level 3s to evolve onto it. So there's that possibility. Or you can play Garurumon. He's the same way, only he's 3 to evolve, but he does allow you to return level 3s back to your opponent's hand when you swing. So if you're worried about Rookie Rush, that is a thing, but he is very expensive to evolve into. But that is the deck, guys. I don't have much else to say about it. I do really like this deck. It is very, very fun. Miragegaogamon not being able to block with like security attack +1. And then with Thomas, like hitting 4 of your opponent's securities before they even have a chance to respond to it is just great. And then Omnimoning afterwards to reset them. Like, there's no greater feeling, I promise. There's no greater feeling than it. But that is the deck, guys. Like I said, being able to use Miragegaogamon, Garurumon, and Thomas to be able to hit 4 security, and then the next turn be able to use Miragegaogamon to attack, unsuspend attack, like that's 4 attacks in total for Garurumon, or you can use it with Omnimon to be able to unsuspend by returning the level 6 to hand. He still gains the security attack as long as you have 8 cards in your hand, so keep that in mind. But yeah, that's the deck, guys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment down below, let me know some of the changes you would make to this deck. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Every subscription helps the channel. And the faster I get, or not the faster, but the more subscriptions I get from my Digimon content, the faster I try to get it out for you guys. Also, leave in the comments a deck that you want to see for set 4 in the future. But until next time, guys, have a blessed one.